The Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Blockchain Superconference is coming to Dallas, Texas, February 16, 17, and 18 in 2018. If you know of a better way to get the latest insider knowledge about crypto, to hear directly from the top minds in this field, to interact personally with 800 fellow crypto lovers, hodlers, investors, miners, traders, developers, and founders, then I'd like to hear about it. If you don't, then you don't want to miss out. Register today for the Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Blockchain Superconference. Go to bitcoinsuperconference.com and register today as a super early bird to get the lowest rates on tickets and hotel rooms. That's bitcoinsuperconference.com.
Welcome to Almost Here, Round the Corner Future Technology podcast with Richard Jacobs. Future technologies poised to transform our lives for better or worse are the focus of this podcast. Almost here means these technologies are now here and starting to be used, or just around the corner, from Bitcoin to artificial intelligence, 3D printing, blockchain, virtual reality, and more.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Future Tech Podcast. My name is Chris Amsler. Our guest today is Pierre Noizat, founder and CEO of Paymium.com. Hi, Pierre. How are you?
Very good. Thanks, Chris.
Very good. Welcome. Tell us about Paymium.com.
Okay, Paymium was founded in 2011 as one of the very first Bitcoin startups in the world. I believe at the time there was very few of them, perhaps only Mt. Gox and CE were live. So we started as a Bitcoin exchange based in Paris. We chose a different path from our competitors, BTC and Mt. Gox, by being fully compliant. From day one, we didn't want to create any liability. We were both, my co-founder and myself were coming from the payment industry. I worked previously with Orange, a telecom operator, on mobile payment solutions. So we are familiar with the regulatory constraints surrounding payments, and we chose to be compliant from day one. So that was very different from BTC, obviously, and positioning, and Mt. Gox also. They were operating very differently at the time. So we had customers registering even as early as 2010. The very first customers we have in our database registered in 2010. So that's telling you how early that was. And we since then we've gained a lot more customers. Now we are up to approximately 150,000 registered customers, and we are working with a large bank these days in France. And the plan is to add more crypto because since 2015 and particularly last year, other cryptos have gained a lot of traction, and Bitcoin is no longer the only crypto that people want to trade. So far we had the Bitcoin Euro currency pair available for trading, and we plan to add more cryptos, so-called altcoins, in 2018.
What cryptocurrencies are you adding first along with that? Are they things that are more related to the block or to Bitcoin blockchain, or are they? What is your guideline for selecting those cryptocurrencies?
Well, the general idea is that we don't want to have people trade a cryptocurrency that will not be sustainable, so to speak, that doesn't have enough of an ecosystem around it. So that would put them at risk of liquidity risk, if there is a collapse of such and such altcoins. We want to avoid the situation where people, there is a bank run for selling off one altcoin or the other. So we'll go with the top of the list. So today it's about Ethers, LiteCoins, perhaps Bitcoin Cash, and a few others, but certainly not hundreds. We don't think the future is gonna be sustainable for hundreds of cryptocurrencies. Because today in the fiat world, every country has their own currency. That's about 150 fiat currencies in existence around the globe. But only a handful of those are world currency. Only a handful. We have the USD, the Euro, the Japanese yen, a few others, but certainly not hundreds of global currencies. And I believe it's probably the same thing is going to happen in the crypto space. There will be a handful, perhaps, of cryptocurrencies, but I don't believe the marginal utility of the 200 cryptocurrencies is going to be sufficient to justify hundreds of cryptocurrencies. So we have to pick the top 5 or 10 that will be that are here to stay. That's the general idea.
And when can we expect to see those additions?
So the integration of the other cryptos is going to happen this year. We are already working on it, and so we are going to be live by this towards the summertime. We'll have the crypto exchange available in addition to the Bitcoin exchange.
Now you mentioned, I want to go over to the fiat world for a minute. You mentioned specifically euros. Are there any plans to open that up to some of the world currencies that you mentioned earlier, like the U.S. dollar or the yen? And what does that look like for unrolling that?
Yeah, absolutely. That's also the part of the plan. We'll add cryptos and fiat this year. And certainly the U.S. dollar and the Japanese yen, probably the Korean won as well. Those three at least will be added, and that's a good thing to do also at this point in time.
Okay, and are we expecting to see that around the same time as the crypto?
Yeah,
the new additions to crypto.
Yeah, in fact, it's relatively simpler to add fiat currencies because our platform is already capable of handling multiple fiat currencies. So there is no technical hurdle to add fiat currencies. It's only a question of banking relationships. For cryptos, there is a technical work, obviously, for integration. But for fiat, it's fairly seamless from a technical standpoint.
What are the current advantages for your customers to using Paymium?
Well, the advantage is it's compliant. We have been registered with the regulators here in France for the past 6 years. So we are starting to have some kind of a track record with the regulators in terms of AML compliance, and that gives our customer a good level of comfort as to whether or not we'll be around for the long run, because we see some of our competitors perhaps not being as compliant as we are, and we think it's key to offer continuous service to our customers. And so that's one thing. And the other is the other reason is the security, because we've operated for the past 6 years. We are, in fact, the longest running exchange without any security problem, because we've been running continuously since September 2013 without any security hiccup, so to speak. So again, that's not the case of most of our competitors. Have had their share of problems with security, and we have really developed best practices for security. We were amongst the first to use cold storage, in bank vaults from as early as 2013, and that has saved us lots of headache.
I'm curious about the cold storage. I understand the concept. It makes me think of, with the technology involved in cryptocurrency, everything's moving so fast. It's in a digital format, and yet we are still going over to the cold storage, kind of equivalent to, writing the password under the teacher's desk. What do you see as the development in moving from cold storage to a different medium? I mean, I know we're looking at a safety aspect here, but can you tell me your thoughts about that?
Cold storage at Paymium means we do a manual review of all the withdrawals, and so there is no instant withdrawal, for instance, Paymium. Unlike, again, most of our competitors that do instant withdrawals, because evidently if a customer can withdraw Bitcoins instantly, that's also true of a hacker, intruding the system. So that cannot happen with the way we operate. And we think it's very important because Bitcoin transactions and cryptocurrency transactions in general are not reversible. So they cannot be handled instantly. That's really putting customer funds at risk, and we don't want that. I know so it's really a trade-off between security and convenience. So we are ready to be slightly less convenient if we are a lot more secure. That's the general idea.
And that, so that's going to bring that has that safety element with your customers now, and I'm sure that's very attractive to people dipping their toes into the waters of the crypto world. So yeah, that's great. What roadblocks are you seeing for exchanges currently?
The major difficulty for any exchange, I think, is really to keep good banking relationships, because without banking relationships, there is no fiat exit, and when people want to buy something in the real world, not all merchants accept Bitcoins yet. So being able to sell off when people are ready to divest or to just take profits, it's very important. And so I think it's really the most challenging task is to keep these relationships with banks in good shape, because banks are traditionally reluctant, very risk averse, and we have to constantly reassure them that everything is going fine with our customers and with the money flows. So that's the challenge. But other than that, I think it's really about learning the challenges of the altcoins, because every altcoin has a different protocol. So each protocol has a certain behavior, and also that can be the challenge if there are some exotic protocols that we must support. Fortunately, Bitcoin has a great ecosystem around it, so we are very comfortable with Bitcoin. But I don't think we can say the same for some other altcoins. So the challenge, like I said earlier, is to pick, to choose, to be selective with the altcoins we will support going forward. We will, again, certainly not support an altcoin where, for instance, wallets are not robust. If a customer withdraw funds and the wallet is not behaving right, it can backfire. It can create lots of support requests for the exchange if the external wallet has a problem. So we don't want to go into these kind of difficulties. So if I want to sum up the challenges, I think it's really banking relationships and new altcoins that would need to be supported. There was a time, when even for ethers, some wallets were not behaving right, and that can create lots of support requests.
Okay. What innovations are you excited about for 2018 in the world of exchanges?
Oh, definitely Lightning Network. I think it's very exciting development for Bitcoin online payments. Lightning is still in the early stages of deployment, but we certainly want to be part of this new network that's really a complement to the Bitcoin network. So we plan to be a Lightning hub, but there is some work again before us to do that, to implement Lightning. But it's certainly the most exciting development for 2018.
What projects can you tell us about right now that you have going on?
Aside from the one we'll be announcing at the conference, we are working, like I said, on SegWit integration, allowing withdrawals to SegWit addresses, native SegWit addresses, and allowing deposit to offer present deposit addresses that are SegWit addresses. That's the something on our roadmap that we want to complete very soon. And after that, SegWit integration, certainly Lightning Network integration. In other words, becoming a Lightning hub is on our roadmap for the short term. So that means our customers would be able to make online payments using a Lightning channel to a merchant that accepts Bitcoin. Aside from the project that we'll be announcing at the conference, we are working on SegWit integration, meaning people would be able soon to deposit Bitcoins on SegWit addresses, and also they'll be able to withdraw Bitcoins to a native SegWit address if they want to do so. So that's on the short-term roadmap for us. And after that, we'll implement a Lightning Hub so that people can make payments through a payment channel, to a Lightning payment channel, to any merchant basically connected to the Lightning network. So those are the two developments we're working on.
Great. Well, where can people find out more, or maybe sign up for an account?
Yeah, they can certainly, people can open an account and start experiencing the fiat exchange, and like I said, in the course of this year, probably in the late summer, they'll be able to trade cryptocurrencies as well.
Okay, and they can find us at Paymium.com, correct?
Absolutely.
Any final thoughts before we wrap up today?
Well, I could say that in spite of the dip in the Bitcoin price these last days, we are very bullish about the outlook for cryptocurrencies in general and Bitcoin in particular, because all these brilliant, bright people are working on exciting projects around the world. And the networks are just booming, as even the new Lightning network is growing very, very quickly, and the ecosystem is just really flourishing these days. So we're very bullish in spite of the ups and downs of the price. The price is not really the indicator to watch for Bitcoin. And the crypto space. I think it's really about new technology being developed, new protocols being added. So at the end, we end up with what I call the Internet of Money, what many call the Internet of Money that's being built with a protocol stack that will be made of certainly Bitcoin and a few other protocols. So we are very bullish about the prospects for 2019 and the next years.
That's great. Hey, Pierre, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thanks, Chris. Thank you for having me.
And thanks, everyone, for joining us here on Future Tech Podcast. We'll see you next time.
The Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Blockchain Superconference is coming to Dallas, Texas, February 16, 17, and 18 in 2018. If you know of a better way to get the latest insider knowledge about crypto, to hear directly from the top minds in this field, to interact personally with 800 fellow crypto lovers, hodlers, investors, miners, traders, developers, and founders, then I'd like to hear about it. If you don't, then you don't want to miss out. Register today for the Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Blockchain Superconference. Go to bitcoinsuperconference.com and register today as a super early bird to get the lowest rates on tickets and hotel rooms. That's bitcoinsuperconference.com.
You have been listening to Almost Here, Around the Corner Future Technology Podcast with Richard Jacobs. Subscribe to this podcast, post a review to discover more future technologies that are poised to transform our lives for better or worse, such as Bitcoin, artificial intelligence, 3D printing, blockchain, virtual reality, and more.